What's going on, guys? Miles Jackman here. Today I'm going to go over my top 4 favorite baits for when the ice is gone and you got that early pre-spawn period in my canal where you got to see me gig and fish before. The water temp heats up pretty quick just because it's so shallow, especially when you have those long warm days. So we're going to start off with my the first bait I'm going to throw as soon as ice is gone. First thing I'm going to throw is going to be a Strike King Scorcher. This is obviously the KVD signature series. I always have one of these tied on somewhere. Spring, fall, summer, overcast days. This is just a fish catcher. Trailer hook is a must. When they come up and nip at it, a free swinging trailer hook will be in the back to hit them. 3/8 ounce bleeding shad color. 2 willow leaves. You can burn this thing, you can wake it, you can just crawl it. Throwing like a 6'10" to a 7.5 foot, somewhere in there, medium heavy, just like any kind of utility rod. Not a flipping stick, not a spinning rod, but just like a decent little twig. And this will catch big bass. I don't know why. In the springtime, it'll catch big fish. And it's just something that I really love to throw. The spinnerbait, I'm a big chatterbait fan, but I don't know. Been throwing these since I was a kid, and in the springtime, this color is really good too. And I just catch a lot of fish on this. So you go back to my older videos, you can see me, I'll catch, just reeling it in. Back when I first started bait casting, I was throwing straight 50-pound braid with this thing in springtime, and I was just whacking them. They're just eating it, you know. They're not worrying about line ripping in their face. They're just eating it. So my first bait I'm going to throw is going to be a white, this one happens to be bleeding shad, kind of spinner bait. 3/8 ounce is usually the size. I won't go any lower than that. I won't go any higher than that. Silver blades. So that's my first bait as soon as the ice is gone. Okay, guys, now the next bait I'm going to throw is going to be the 8-inch Cinco. This is a Nemesis one. I haven't personally thrown this one, so I can't say that's the best one ever. But it's just, you know, a big Cinco. It's got a lot of meat to it. This is like a watermelon red flake type deal. I just like the bigger Cinco, you know, Texas Riget, 1/8 ounce tungsten, a little 4-aught worm hook, and you just can't beat it. It'll catch big fish. Good cleanup bait. As soon as that ice is gone, drag this thing around, give it a few hops. Definitely get a lot of bites with it, but I really like this color that McCarter gave me, so I wanted to show it off. So I'll definitely be in the water with a bullet cross as soon as the ice is gone. But yeah, any kind of soft plastic. I just like the Cinco because it's very basic. It'll get a lot of bites, but this bigger size will get the bigger bites. It's just such a good color. Another bait that I will keep for my third bait that I'm going to throw is going to be this LV500. This is a Lucky Craft rattle trap. Lipless crank. I like calling them rattle traps because I fished rattle traps when I was a little kid growing up, and that's just what I ended up calling them. This color is just a neon bluegill. It's a perfect color for I fish. The LV500s, they have a lot of rattles to them. I don't know, it's just something about a rattle trap, the tight wobble in that cold water. Bass will eat it. Keep this thing on. I remember last spring, I remember fishing like all morning, and it was like 10 o'clock, and I was throwing a spinnerbait, dragging a worm, doing a lot of stuff. Chatterbaits. Chatterbaits are really good. And then I threw on a rattle trap, the bill, or like one of the floaters that rattle trap has, and they get bites. Even though you didn't think fish were in that little area, you throw on a rattle trap and you get a bunch of bites. But I happen to like the LV500. I started using it last year and I really liked it, so especially that color too works really good where I'm from, so I'm gonna keep using that style of bait. It's just such a good bait. It's just a chatter swim. A chatterbait with a swim bait on the back of it. White, I like white for some reason in the spring, just works out well. Big old beefy hook, get good vibration, get good feel back from that rod. Throwing on like a 7-foot utility rod, medium heavy. This is a Lake Fork Tackle Magic Shad, one of the original ones. And that head's getting kind of weird color, but I don't think it really matters. All the fish sees this thing swimming and he feels it with the vibration from this. and it gets bites, it gets big bites, catches bite, catches everything. But a really good bait that I like to use in the early parts of the season. And finally, the last bait I'm going to have is just a bait that I always have tied on. It's just a jig, just a 3/8 ounce. It can go from quarter to 1.5 if you have mats in that shallow part, because they will spawn in that. Put a little choker on it. This happens to be the Booyah one. 3/8 ounce. 2 rattles on it, can't beat it. Always gotta have a jig tied on no matter what season it is, and you can get big bites on it. Yeah, that's my pre-spawn video and early spawn video, but for sight fishing I'll have a different deal on what I like to do for that. But yeah, just keep it along those lines of what I have, of at least what I like to use. I'm not saying that other stuff is irrelevant. I just said what I like to use has worked for me in years past. Just this little arrangement of deals. Just a 3/8 ounce spinnerbait, 3/8 ounce chatter swim, or chatterbait. You can throw the chatterbait too, but I call it chatter swim if you put that swim bait on it. The big old Cinco, the 8-inch. The Lucky Craft LV500. And then just a brown or a black jig. And that should have you covered. Those baits right there should have you covered in the pre-spawn to get good bites. It's worked for me in the past. You might have to change colors up or stuff like that, or maybe square bill or something like that if you're really shallow. Maybe bring the Cinco down if you're having trouble getting bites. But just these baits overall are proven fish catchers. Might be able to help you out, might not. You might have your own thing that works too, but these are just where I like to use pre-spawn.